Have you ever felt so tired that sleep doesn't even fix it? A deep, soul-level exhaustion from chasing one dream after another, only to end up right where you started. That was Ethan. At 29, he found himself sitting in his car outside a grocery store in Ohio, engine off, feeling completely paused while the world buzzed on around him. For years, Ethan had been a chaser of shortcuts. He bought into the online promises of overnight success, the get-rich-quick schemes, the life hacks that guaranteed a total transformation in just a few weeks. He wasn't lazy, he was just exhausted from hoping. Every failed attempt, every rejection email, chipped away at his confidence until he was left with a terrifying thought whispering in his mind, "Maybe I am just not meant for more." Growing up, he'd watched his father work construction. A man of few words, his dad's life was about responsibility, not passion. "Do the work," he'd say. "The rest figures itself out." Ethan had always wanted something faster, something bigger than that. But now, in the silence of his car, he began to wonder if speed had been the problem all along. Was it possible that the relentless search for a shortcut was the very thing holding him back? The next morning, something shifted. It wasn't a lightning bolt moment, but a quiet, firm decision. Ethan stopped looking for hacks. He picked one thing, just one skill, and committed to learning it the slow way. No magic formulas, no overnight transformations, just small, consistent, daily effort. The first few weeks were absolute torture. Progress felt non-existent. It was like trying to fill a bucket with a leaky eyedropper. His friends didn't get it. Some would ask with a gentle laugh, "You still doing that thing?" He'd just nod, even when a knot of doubt tightened in his stomach. There were so many nights he'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, convinced he was just wasting his time all over again. The temptation to quit, to go back to the familiar cycle of chasing easy wins, was overwhelming. Quitting felt comfortable, it felt logical. But Ethan made a new rule for himself, a simple but powerful one. Show up. Show up even when you feel nothing. Show up when you're tired, when you're bored, when you're convinced it's not working. Just show up. Months started to bleed into one another. He failed. A lot. Sometimes the failures were small and private. Other times they were painfully public. Each stumble was a test, an invitation to return to his old ways. But an interesting thing happened. With every failure he didn't run from, his tolerance for discomfort grew. He was building a new kind of muscle resilience. He was learning how to focus, how to actually finish what he started, and most importantly, how to be patient with himself. For the first time in his adult life, he wasn't trying to escape his reality. He was building a new one, brick by slow, tedious brick. One cold winter evening, walking home from a long day, a profound realization hit him. He didn't hate his life anymore. It wasn't perfect, not by a long shot. Money was still tight, and there was no external recognition for his efforts. But internally, he felt a strength he'd never known. It was a quiet, steady confidence that wasn't dependent on anyone else's approval. And that internal strength, he realized, was the only kind that truly mattered. It was the foundation he had been missing all along. About a year after that day in the parking lot, a small opportunity came his way. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't a life-changing jackpot. It was just a chance, a small door that had opened because of the work he'd put in. He took it. Then, a little while later, another small opportunity appeared. And he took that one too. Each step felt earned. Each small win was built on the foundation of 1,000 quiet, unseen efforts. 2 years after his lowest point, Ethan stood in a modest new apartment, unpacking boxes. There was no audience, no applause, no celebration, just a quiet smile on his face. He hadn't made it in the way the world defines success. He hadn't become a millionaire overnight, but he had become someone who could asterisk. He had built the character, the discipline, and the endurance to succeed. And that, he understood, was everything. This is the secret most people never learn. Success isn't a race. It's not about speed or finding the perfect hack. It's about endurance. It's about having the grit to keep going when the initial excitement fades, when the path gets boring, and when the results are nowhere in sight. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they quit during the long, monotonous middle. They give up when the work stops being exciting and starts feeling like, well, work. So, if you're watching this right now and you feel behind, if you feel lost, or if you're just tired of trying and failing, I want you to hear this. This is your sign. You don't need another shortcut. You don't need a flashier plan or a magic bullet. You need commitment. You need to be willing to take the long way home. Because the long way is the only way that truly changes you. And once you change, once you become the person who can endure, your life will have no choice but to follow. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content like this. Keep building.